We live in a world of constant stimulation, instant gratification, and most obviously, distraction. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla, and I help people master themselves while also teaching emotional and physical healing. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what distractions are hurting your soul, your mind, and your emotions, and how I personally get rid of these distractions to better help myself. If you take a look around, you'll notice that most people cannot live without their phone in their hands, or most people cannot go a few hours without having Wi-Fi, or at least a few days. And this is a problem. One bad habit would be music, and not listening to music, not enjoying music, but having constant music playing or always having earphones in your ears blocking out the world would be one of the top worst distractions that you can have. I say this because I actually used to be a person that I would use music all in the car, and then I'll go to the store or the mall and have headphones as well. I'll be walking around in the park and have headphones, and really, when you're constantly listening to music, you're blocking out the world, you're blocking out an opportunity for conversation, and you're not able to hear the natural sounds of the universe. You're not able to hear the animals, the birds, the wind, the trees. You're not able to hear any of that. Once I stopped overusing headphones, I still listen to music to enjoy it, but if you think about it, you're listening to music constantly and usually the same songs. It's like, where's the joy of listening to music if you're just gonna listen to the same thing, or if you're always listening to music? Yeah, there's no real joy in listening to music if you're always listening to it all the time. Taking breaks can actually make the music more enjoyable. It gives you time to actually process your emotion and think thoughts that you never truly think. If you're constantly distracting yourself or from others, you're never really able to process these emotions that are suppressed inside of you. You're never really able to think through thoughts that you would usually be thinking 100 years ago. Number two would be constantly on social media, constantly consuming content, following up with other people's lives, following up with celebrities, people that you know, people that you don't know. You really don't have to know all of these things on a daily basis. We really don't have to know what's going on every hour, every second, every minute. We really don't have to talk to our friends every second, every minute. We really don't have to send them memes every day. It's way better, I found, to interact with our family and our friends in person. It's a way more satisfying experience, especially emotionally. You feel more whole, even though you're whole and complete on your own. Friendships are really made for the physical life, not for the phone. So if I were you, tell your friends you're taking a phone break, or you're just not going to be communicating as much via phone, and start saying, well, if we want to hang out, let's go hang out. We don't need to FaceTime. Having these moments of silence and moments to ourselves can really endure a happier life. Having these moments of silence really has helped me become more confident, has gotten rid of a lot of anxiety. I'm starting to remember things from my past. I'm starting to process things I never processed. I'm starting to know more about myself, just being in silence and just being okay with being. At first it might seem a little weird. It might make you a little nervous, but turning off that music for one drive in the car can really take a lot of weight off of your shoulders. Deleting Instagram for a day can really take a lot of weight off of your shoulders. It felt like that for me. I've never really been a social media person, but I've noticed more when I'm trying to build this audience that I've been on social media a lot, and it's kind of making my brain a little foggy. And I haven't experienced that because I haven't really been on social media prior to 2020 as much as I am now. And so I'm starting to realize my values again, and I'm being more conscious about how I use these platforms. It's okay to use platforms, and it's okay to listen to music. You just have to be aware to use them as tools and not to let them use you. Here are a few benefits that I've had from being in silence, not always over listening to music, and slowing down my consumption of social media. One thing would be that my emotions are more balanced. When you're listening to music, the artist can be putting in their words that are of their emotions, and I know you understand that when you listen to music, you're really feeling it, you're really vibing, and you're kind of taking their energy and putting it into you. These lyrics and these vibrations and these sound waves all have energy. When you're listening to music, you're very much absorbing this information energetically and emotionally. I've noticed that when I take a break from other people's emotions and feelings, that I'm able to really process my own, and mine are kind of able to balance out a lot more. Number two, a clear mind. Constant hours daily of scrolling through YouTube, scrolling through Instagram can really fog up your mind and really cloud your memory. There have been studies showing that people who have a constant use of social media or just technology in general have a less focused brain, less productivity, more foggy thoughts. You develop more confidence. So constantly distracting yourself with whether it's technology or music, you kind of know yourself less in a sense. And this is more subconsciously. It's not something you really notice day to day, but you start to notice once you have these little blockages for yourself, taking time for yourself and being with yourself, you start to notice that there was a part of you that you didn't know. There was a part of you that you never spent time with, part of you that you never grew. And so what I find is that now that I'm not interacting with my phone, I can actually interact with people and practice being more confident, practicing becoming more of myself, and practice becoming the real me. Another benefit is you're going to discover new things about yourself. There's going to be so much more free time that your body has no other choice but to find out what it likes and what it really wants to do. Once you restrain yourself from these things, you start to find time for new hobbies and new interests, and you really find out what your values are, what you like, and it gives you a lot of headspace. So here are my tips for how I go about stopping these distractions, not only with over listening to music and overconsumption of technology, but anything else that you use to distract yourself. Number one, limit your phone screen time. If you have an iPhone and you go into the settings of your phone, it shows you the phone screen time of how many hours you spend a day and how many hours you spend a week on your phone. It also shows you the apps that you use the most and the time frame that you use them on a daily and weekly basis. From that data, you can determine what you want to cut back on and use your understanding of what you use the most and cut back on those apps. It's a little hard because these apps are actually designed to have us addicted. There's a lot of psychological and marketing tactics that go into these platforms. These are businesses. They need to make money. They need people to spend more time on their applications because if that's how they make money. They make money through advertising. So the longer you stay on, the more money they make with ads. That's fine. That's their business. That's a whole other topic. However, it's not your fault if you find it hard for yourself to not be on these applications. So take it slow. Whether you have to delete them throughout the day and re-download them, you can also hide the app in a folder so you won't see it. The thing about breaking a bad addiction or breaking a bad habit is that far more easier to just get something out of your environment than it is to actually restrict it. For example, in the book Atomic Habits, and also in The Power of Habit, for someone that wants to lose weight, it's way easier for them not to buy the junk food than it is for them to have junk food in their house because they're very much likely to go ahead and eat those cookies. Just get it out of your environment and it'll be very easy for you. Number two, limit your music intake. So music is great, music is fun, but if music is a distraction from your thoughts and from yourself, what I would do is in your car ride, I would try to practice not playing the radio or not playing music for at least half of the ride, or if you're going 2 ways, I would say one of the ways don't play music. And if you take walks often like me, just don't take your headphones. Number 3 is being okay with silence. At first, this can be uncomfortable, especially for Gen Z and millennials, or people who just are heavy users of technology. It's okay to be in silence. It's okay to be alone, and it's okay to hear your thoughts. We're not used to that. We didn't grow up that way, but that is the normal way to be with yourself. That's how you develop and grow as a person. So being okay with being with no distractions around you, no sound around you, is 100% fine. Another tip is be social. If you're trying to get rid of a bad distraction or a bad habit, you should always replace it with something better. So if you're used to always DMing your friends, or if you're used to just posting pictures or whatever it is that you're trying to get rid of, I would suggest replacing that with something 10 times better. So if you're used to messaging someone on a platform, good idea to go ahead and hang out with them in person. I know we're in different times right now, but if you both feel comfortable, you can hang out in person, and that would make your experience way much better. I would say to prioritize in-person socializing more than messaging. Lastly, understand that FOMO is fake as heck. FOMO is fake. FOMO means the fear of missing out. Just know that there's not going to be something crazy that's going to happen on the news. There's not going to be something crazy that happens on social media with your friends if you go a day without logging on. This is a very strong feeling within all of us. We feel like there's just something we have to see, something that we're going to miss, and you're not. And if you do, it's totally fine to find out hours later. It's okay to find out days later. If it's that important or that scary, you'll get called. They'll call you. So just know that FOMO is just a feeling, and you don't need to let it control your life. You don't need to let any of these things control your life. You need to be your own person. You need to understand that there's people that are playing on human psychology, and that's why we all are feeling very stuck to our phones and stuck to distractions. There's a way out of it, and I encourage you to try them. What are some other distractions that you might have? Let me know down below. If you like this video, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.